fascinating how Kovu knows when I say, he just looks at me sometimes, right? I don't know what he wants. So I asked him if he wanted to go potty. He kind of just looks at me. If he really needs to go, he jumps around. So that's a no. So I don't know what you want, Kovu. So get your toy. Where's your toy, Kovu? He immediately go pick up a toy. He got a bone this time. Lay down on the bed. I taught him that when he was little. He used to try to bite my hands. And no, I'm not your toy. Go get your toy. And he go get it. Get a toy. I never specified what was what though, but he knows that part. Yeah. Anyway, I was going to do a recap of today. Today is February 16th, 2026. He loves his kennel. He goes in there and sits at the very back and looks at me. And he looks like I had just yelled at him. You know when dogs do that, you get in the very back of their kennel and just kind of look at you like, oh my God. That's what he does. I didn't get after him. Anyway. So, this morning I had a doctor's appointment at 8 o'clock a.m. At 7:30, Chuck came to pick me up. He told me I was the only, I don't know what to call me. He's my driver, so I'm a drivee, I guess. I don't know. I'm the only one he hugs also. So that's cool. Anyway, but I started it because I think I already told you that. Anyway. So Chuck was the one that dropped me off, but then they had the wrong address for some reason. It was 1001. There it says 1001 Providence Drive, which is the hospital. The medical center where my doctor is 1000 Providence Drive. Anyway, so I told him no, it's that one. So I went there, I got the piece of paper that my doctor, I thought he would write something about it, but it's a form. It's a form. He put my name on it. He put a stamp on it, and it's for it's called an OMMP. It's so I can get my medical marijuana card. So it means a lot because my doctor, Dr. Sanders, does not believe that marijuana treats anything. I don't think it treats anything either. I smoke marijuana maybe 3-4 times a day, but I only put a little bit in a pipe and hit it maybe 1-2 times. That's it. That is it. People are like, fill it up. No. I just put a little bit at the bottom. There's just a little bit in there because I don't like the taste of burnt ash, weed, whatever. That's why I don't like smoking joints. It's ashy. I'd rather use a bong, to be honest with you, because it filters. The water seems to filter it, get all that smoky out of it. Anyway, I don't have one of those anymore. But for me, marijuana, I have pain all over my body, and when I don't smoke, I'm sedentary. I feel pain, but it's like a stagnant. I don't know where to move. I'm just lazy. I just stay in one spot, which does not help. It does not help. So it's like my pain is not localized anywhere. So I don't know what to address. It's just all over, which makes me like paralyzed. If that makes sense. But when I smoke weed, a little bit, I do not like to get loopy. When I was young, my 21, 22, I'm 38 now. I was a pothead, I was. But I was using it to escape, which a lot of people use drugs to escape. My drug of choice, my whole life, except for that time, is sleep. My drug of choice is sleep. So when I couldn't sleep, I felt deprived times 2, because deprived of an addiction, because that's what I did. I would sleep to escape. I basically slept my life away. Me and my dad sleep a lot. My dad suffers from depression too. But yeah, he loves to sleep. So do I. So nowadays, when people are around me and they see me smoke, but they see how little I smoke, they say, "Why do you do that? You know, you are not a weed smoker." Yeah, I'm not a pothead. I'm not a traditional weed smoker. No. I don't like to get loopy. I don't like to lose time. Time is too precious. You can never get time back. So I've always slept my life away and worked my life away. That's all I did. I slept and worked. I didn't socialize. I didn't go out because I'm an introvert. And I just don't. I don't know. I just went home. Do you work? You go home. And it was just me. So, anyway. That's my story. Oh, so when I smoke weed, it goes to it localizes it. Sorry, I got a notification. It kind of throws me off. So when I smoke weed, it increases my pain. To be honest with you, it does. It increases my pain. So that's another reason why I don't keep doing it. And I don't like to be spacey. Don't like to lose time. I'd rather be present in the moment. Know what the fuck's going on. Before, no, I didn't. I wanted time to pass. Anyway. So when I smoke weed, it localizes it. Like, I can feel it in certain areas. And then I know to move here, and I know to move there, and I know, I'm very in tune with my body. So I am very in tune with my body. I am. But sometimes it's just too much and I'm just stagnant. So if I don't smoke just a little bit, then I don't get my localization, and then I don't know where to move, and then it doesn't get me out of it. You know what I mean? You have to move. That's the thing. I'm a physical therapist assistant, or was. Still am. I have a license, but I don't practice it anymore. But as physical therapy, you move. That's the profession. You teach them to move. And I always preached it, but when I go home and I'd be sedentary, right? But I have realized that you have to move. You have to move. Otherwise, your pain is just going to be sedentary, and then it's going to get worse. You have to move. Some type, form, or fashion. You have to move into the pain. You have to. That goes for a lot of things. Emotional pain, psychological pain. You have to address it. That was kind of I don't say controversy, but me and Haley were having a conversation, and I was talking about how my ADIS isn't assisting me at all, because apparently I have to see the judge twice now. One, because I don't have what was it? Maybe 3 times. I don't know. There's 3 things, because I didn't abide by the rules. I didn't. I was in so much pain. And I wasn't about to live in pain. And I'm not a weed smoker. People just don't, when I got pulled over, they're already determined that I was high. But I wasn't. I hadn't slept in 14 days, 2 weeks. I'd be awake for 3 days. Sleep for maybe 2 to 3 hours. Not restful sleep, just knocked out because your body, thank God. Just a little bit, and then I'd be awake for another 3 days. That went on for 2 weeks. God intervened. Apparently, God intervened a lot, and it seemed like one fucking thing after another. But I couldn't go on doing that. I told her that she was making me not be able to sleep. She said, "Oh, he said that you had suffered from this before." Which is true, but it's the same scenario of what caused it. Yeah. I said, it's making me sick. Not being able to sleep is making me sick. Which is true, because when you sleep, your body heals. That's why I don't understand. People are so reluctant to rest. They think you're being lazy to sleep. People cut their sleep shorter and shorter and try to fill in their day and gotta do this and that. And but if you don't take care of this, you're no longer going to be here. This is your temple. If this doesn't work, all the money and the cars and the job and the whatever is pointless. What you gonna do? So this morning, I went to the doctor to look at my skin. I have a spot on my toe that my mom said that she thought it was fungal infection, like athlete's foot or whatever. But it's always on my middle toe on my right foot. It never spreads, just that middle toe. And it's come and gone for like a month or so. I'm just not one to complain, you know. I just kind of put stuff on it, it itches, but it got so itchy that I told my mom, and my mom said that it's affecting my nail too. So, and then, so I was putting powder. I put fungal powder on it because I figured, because it's caused by moisture, built up moisture. The fungal infection is caused by built up moisture, and I didn't want to put more moisture on it. I didn't want to put cream on it because it's moisture. So I always go to powder, which seemed to work. It's healing. But I have something underneath my arm now. I'll show you. Sorry, I felt like acid was coming up, stuck. My dad, he doesn't do it anymore. But when he first would initially eat, he would have to have soda. He always had a Pepsi. Always made sure he had a Pepsi for this incident, because it was something would come up and it would be like a ball in his throat. That's what it kind of felt like just now, but not that bad. Ball in his throat, and it got to a point that he would throw up. That's why he was trying to prevent it with soda. Like, apparently soda helps with that. I never seen him do it anymore as I got older. But yeah, it was a big thing. Crazy thing, I can drink soda. I can't drink anything with carbonation. So I'd be damned if I put alcohol in my system. Hell no, I'm not putting poison in my system if I can't even handle carbonation. You fucking crazy. Anyway, which leads into, when I got pulled over, they were convinced that I was high. Okay? No, I was fucking exhausted. Kind of like I am now. But 10 times worse. It's been 2 weeks. I'm just exhausted because it's been a long day, and I'll fill you in. But it was a good day. And I just ate. So that makes me extra tired. So tired. My brain is going. Anyway, so I went to the doctor, and so I have a spot under my arm and now on my foot, and I used to have eczema on my hand, they said. I've never had skin issues in my life. No, I've never had skin issues in my life. This started 2025. All my trauma of the third mental breakdown happened in 2024. So I had spots on my hands. I had here, and then went to here, then I went to here. It was just red. No, all this, but it cleared up and it hasn't come back. But now I have it on my foot, and then I have a red thing underneath my arm. So my doctor said, well, it wasn't the Dr. Sanders. He was part of his care team. It was a guy I never met before. He said he's just filling in for somebody. He was nice though, but he said that he thinks that I have psoriasis. which comes and goes your whole entire life, and there's no cure. It's a skin condition, I guess. I have a pamphlet to know what the fuck it is. But anyway, and I asked him if I said I'm pretty sure it's stress related, because stress comes out in numerous forms. And the fact that this has never happened before, and my body's finally healing. And once your body starts to feel safe, it starts to reveal the trauma that you have been holding, because it believes that you can handle it now. Like when I was going through all that stuff in 2024, my body worked. Even though it was depleting, my body was eating itself. My brain was going somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I can just go off in my head about, it was a lot. I don't remember what else I was talking about. Damn, I forgot what I was talking about. When your brain goes somewhere else, it does it to me a lot. That's why I do like rabbit trails. But then you really kind of dive into that memory, and then you don't know what the hell you were just talking about. So anyway, he thinks it's psoriasis. He referred me to a dermatologist in Hillsboro. He said he recommended that one over Vimville. Okay. Wellride will take me further distances if it's for a specialty. So that's a specialty for skin. So anyway, so I think it's that's what I was gonna say. So I think it's stress related. I do, because once my body has starting to heal, everything is coming out. Because back then, when I was 112 pounds, I was skin and bones. I lost everything. I didn't recognize my own body. I was walking up mountains, it seemed like my ex and I on Saturdays, my only day off, we would go on hiking trails, because that's what I like to do. That was the whole point of moving here. And there was steep hills, and I walk up those things. It was one of my stress relievers. I loved it. And he struggled to keep up. I just went up that thing. I did. I felt like I was resilient when I was actually secretly killing myself and not knowing it. But now that I'm more coherent and wise and have grown and all that, I realize that everything now is coming out. So your body does keep the score. It does. Even if your mind has determined that the situation has passed and you're safe and you should move on, the body keeps the score. I'm living proof of that. Living proof. Anyway, so the doctor sent a referral to the dermatologist. I can't get in until August, March, I don't know. Wow, a long time. So I'm probably going to take a picture of this. But anyway, I was going to show you. It's not bad now. It started on Monday. Oh, you're on my stand. See? I didn't really shave, I'm sorry. But that line right there in the middle, it's not supposed to be there. It doesn't bother me right now, but before it was sting. When I first found it, felt like it was pokey. That's what it felt like. And then it goes all the way back. He asked me if it itches. I said no, but it's rough. It's just rough, like raw skin. And then my toe. So he thinks I have psoriasis. He got me some medication. It's gonna come in the mail. They asked me if I wanted to just have it at pick up from the pharmacy. I said, well, I can't really drive right now. So I didn't want to figure out how to get there. So yeah, it'd just be best to send it to the house. Sorry, I have stomach issues. If you haven't noticed. I'm so tired, but I want to get this out. Oh, FYI, when I was at my, sorry, my nose itches. When I was at my occupational therapy appointment last week, today's Monday. So last week, and I was explaining to her that I can't sleep like this anymore. Like I notice, like I have a habit sometimes of sleeping curled up, you know, like this. That's some fat arms. I gotta work on myself. Anyway, and I said I notice when I can't do that because my wrists hurt, you know. So then I prop it on my pillow because I have one of those pillows that have a neck support. So then I just leave my wrists propped on my pillow and the other one propped on my, I have a stuffed animal, so I use its hand and I prop my hand on that. I have a certain positions that I sleep. Anyway, so if you, my OT said that she had looked into it and kind of studied carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel can be caused by this. If you sleep like this, you can eventually develop carpal tunnel because you are pinching, I think it's a nerve, something. You are pinching something in here by doing this, which causes carpal tunnel. So FYI, I know, I'm glad I know that now, so I don't do it. And I know why. I usually don't not do things until I know why. I've always been that way. Why? Oh, another tidbit that I learned from my gastroenterologist, which is a stomach doctor, that red meat and pork belly increases the acidity in your stomach. So if you suffer from GERD or acid reflux or anything like that, it will make it worse. Gastritis, that's what I got. It'll make it worse. Just FYI. I used to throw up in my sleep. Scariest thing, well, not the scariest. Scariest is falling asleep while driving. That's why I got pulled over. Somebody called it in saying I was reckless driving, which I was. I was almost home and it hit me, like out of nowhere. It hit me. I was so tired. And I swear, I woke up and I was in the other lane. Good thing it was 2 lanes. But yeah, they were waiting for me. And they were determined already that I was intoxicated, so I was already screwed. And I talked too much. Now my tongue gets heavy. And my larynx, I think that's your voice, I don't know. Anyway, my throat tightens. But I don't allow it to get settled in my chest. Usually when you have anxiety, you have a tight chest. I don't allow it to do it there anymore. I don't. I lived in fear for 5 months. Straight. And then continuous. After that, not as intense, but yeah. At least I was out of my head, but yeah. It's crazy. So, went to the doctor got diagnosed with psoriasis, made an appointment. I told my mom, I sent her the summary that they send with you after appointments, whatever it's called. And she said that I need to watch my weight. My mom is very insecure about her weight. So I don't think, she don't want that to happen to me, which I understand because I was heavy and I didn't like it and I did kind of hate my body. People do that. People do. So my mom said, just, watch out. You watch out not to gain too much weight. And I said, I know. I can't really move right now. But I'm trying. She said that she wants to get down to 140, 150. I'm 165. They weighed myself today. I didn't even know. I didn't want to go past 160, 165. Anyway, my mom said that she's 270 right now. That's what she said. And I told her, I hear you. She don't want me to get that far. She said, don't get as heavy as me. I said, I hear you. I said, I can't read my text messages. But I said basically that I hear you. But I don't judge my body anymore. I don't hate my appearance anymore. I don't, because this is my temple. I've realized by experience going through hell that this is your temple. If you don't have this, you don't have a life. You don't exist on this world. Or if you do, you exist in whatever capacity that this body can handle. That's it. People are so busy chasing after money and not caring about their fucking body and not caring about their emotions and their stress and not caring about any of that. You're caring about everything else except this. Well, this is where you live. So if you don't take care of this, you do not exist. Just FYI. So I told her that I don't judge myself anymore like other people do. I said, I don't judge my body like other people do. It's my temple. But I said, I am grateful. I wish I could read it. Something about, I am grateful for being able to flaunt what my mama gave me. Basically, that's what the whole point was. I said, we are thick. We are thick women. We have booties and we have thighs. And it's a body that other people pay for. If it's fit, well kept type thing. But yeah, our natural body structure is a big butt and thick thighs. That's our natural body structure. But people have asked me, do you work out? Well, before I gained so much weight, I need to do something. But yeah, when I started gaining weight, everybody thought that I worked out all the time. How'd you get your ass? And I just started eating. That's all I did. I just started eating. And my body came back. God just made me this way. That's the thing. So I told her I'm grateful that I'm able to flaunt what my mama gave me. And she chuckled. Because I said, if I gain weight, then my boobs get bigger. So then my boobs are big, so all I gotta do is work on the surrounding areas, and hopefully the size keeps. And I already have thickness down there, so all I gotta do is shape it. My weight goes to my lower portion. Majority of it. It's kind of settling in my gut area and my arms, and I don't like that. And then you kind of tell in your face. But this is my normal body. This is what the body God gave me. And she said, she chuckled. She said, that made me chuckle. She said, yes, you got your thickness and your booty from your mom. I said, yep, I appreciate it. Thank you. I said, but I've also learned that living in this body as a adolescent, when you're a teenager and early 20s and stuff, You're fit, usually. You're very sexy and attractive because you still have a young body. You haven't aged yet. I'm almost 40 years old. Sorry, it distracted me now. I lost my train of thought. I hate when notifications come up. It drives me crazy. Sorry. Oh, when you're an adolescent, or usually at that age also, you haven't really established your values and your worth and know how to put up boundaries and demand respect, basically. Know your worth. Usually at that age you haven't established that, unless you, I don't know, your childhood was different than mine, I guess. I don't know. So when you're young and you look attractive and you have the body that other people dream of, guys, especially at that age, are very promiscuous. And they don't give a shit who you are. They just see the body. They want the exterior. That's what they want. They don't give a shit about the person who's inside of it. That's why I say, initially I said, beauty is a curse. It is. Because you've seen the exterior portion of it, and that's what you're wanting. But who is the person inside of that body? That's the thing. Why don't you care about that? And I've never experienced that by any intimacy person, no. They never really cared to get to know me. They just wanted what I looked like. So when I lost everything, part of me was glad because I knew he couldn't admire it anymore. And the other side was devastating because my body has always been like one of my assets, I guess. One of my identity. It was part of my identity. It was. I was a big booty white girl that could dance. Well, I didn't have any of that anymore. It was crazy. Anyways, off topic. I don't even know what I was thinking about. What we're talking about. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Okay, anyway. Cool babies. I didn't hear nothing, Koval. I didn't hear anything. Okay, open the door so you can check it out. Come on. Come on, check it out. Come on, Koval. Just check it out. Patty? Oh, come on. I keep forgetting to put my little mic on. I'll do it next time. Hopefully you guys been able to hear me. Okay, anyway. So, the text with my mom. Basically, she said, I don't want you to gain weight, too much weight like me, because she's insecure about her appearance. And I told her I appreciate the figure she gave me. She laughed. I told her about, people not wanting the person inside. And she said she apologized for that, But yeah, I think it made her, I turned it into a positive. Because she was kind of going down the trail of insecurity about her weight. But I complimented the fact that she gave me her figure. And I told her that I really am not concerned about the weight that I'm gaining, because I know once I can get back to my happy places, it will decrease because I'll be able to move. I'll be able to do things. Anyway, so came home. He was supposed to be here at 9:30. He didn't get here till like 10:30. I called him. I say, make sure he was okay, because I was like, you may be concerned. You say you're going to be at a certain time, but you aren't here, so it makes me think you got in a wreck or something. And he said, no, he just gets phone calls after phone calls, especially because the time difference is different, because East Coast is 3 hours ahead of us. Yeah. So they'd be calling like at 6 a.m. and there's like 9. Anyway, so I came home, I made a smoothie, I went through my mail. Got a letter in the mail saying that my driver's license is going to continue to be suspended because I did not have, or do not have, I forget what it's called, one of those breathing things you put in your car to make your car start, so you know you didn't drink and try to drive. Well, when all of this started, I had to pay for a bench probation officer, and then she tried to take another payment. And I said, what is that for? And she said, for this device. And, well, my conviction was marijuana. I blew a 0. I don't drink alcohol. So it's pointless. I can be high as a kite and blow in that thing, and it still run, because I don't have any alcohol in my system. There's no point. So I contacted my ATIS, my bench probation officer, and asked her about that. I said, can you contact the DMV and clarify this, clear it up? And she said, I don't do that. You're gonna have to talk to the clerk. And I messaged her like 3 more times, like it was different topics. But basically at the end, I would ask her if she would write a letter, just a little summary, just a statement, anything, saying that, no, Lisa does not need this device. Because she's the one that agreed, because I didn't pay for it in the end. Because she's like, oh yeah, you don't need it. So now you're going to punish me because I don't have it, but I didn't need it. Anyway, so that's one thing I have to deal with. Other thing I have to deal with is the fact that I had been smoking weed this whole time. You're supposed to do UAs, have clean UAs for 90 days. Well, I was going to be damned if I was just going to be in pain. I didn't have any assistance. I didn't have any muscle relaxers. I was on pregabalin, which I still am. It didn't seem to do shit. Like, I had to be able to manage somehow. But the thing is, I've lived in pain my whole life. So I've learned how to adapt, I guess you can say. Oh, my eye itches. I've learned how to adapt, accept it, and try to move on. But in doing so, you appear to be fine. Like right now, I appear to be fine, but I hurt everywhere. Everywhere. So when I had got to the point, when I kept doing UAs, I did it for a whole year. I didn't pay for it. Anyway, OHP did. So I would go there, and then eventually I had gotten so bad that I was limping. Like it was worse than I am now, 10 times worse. And one of the ladies asked me if I was okay. She said, "What happened to you?" I said, "Nothing." I said, I've been in pain this whole time. I've been like this whole time. I just can't hide my pain anymore. And then it finally clicked to them. You know what I mean? Like I had to appear how I was feeling. But it's really hard for me to appear how I'm feeling until it gets extreme, because I've learned how to cope with it, because I had to. I had no choice. Anyway, I was so sleepy. And I haven't even got past the half of the day. Anyway, so I made a smoothie. Emailed my ATIS. She was no help. She didn't respond. I asked her for the letter. She don't respond. And that is the whole reason I make sure it is in email. That's why I didn't call her before. And she got irritated. Why didn't you call me? Because you can't have any record of somebody calling you. Me and Kathy were at the courthouse waiting to talk to the clerk, and there's like 3-4 windows. And there was this guy talking to another guy through the window, and he was explaining a situation, but it was his proof, I guess. His leverage of what he was trying to use was the conversation that they had over a phone. So in the end, it's hearsay. There is no documentation unless you actually recorded the audio of the call. But in email, it is written. It is in a document form, written out. And you can see time stamped, when you sent it, if somebody replied, how they replied, everything. That's why I did it that way. Proof. You always want proof. You always want things in writing. Always. Otherwise, you have no leverage. How thick my arms are getting. Getting chubby. I don't like looking at the side. I don't. Don't. Oh well. I try not to analyze my body. I'm just grateful it's coming back slowly. So that gets to the second part of the day. So Haley came and picked me up. We stopped by the bank so I could deposit money. So then I finished my medical marijuana card documentation, and paid $35 to have them file it instead of myself. I left a message asking to make sure I got everything that I needed to do completed, because it's talked about needing a release form to get my medical records to them for my appointment on Monday. But then it indicated something about they were going to email me, but I didn't see any email to further submit it. So I called him, nobody answered, and I left a message. So I said, let me know if I need to do something else, because I don't see if I had an email or not. Oh, I'm gonna kink. If I stop and start doing something like this, it means the pain is too hard, too much. Usually I'm just in pain and I can tolerate it. Once it hits, I have to move. So that's when I hit the weed also. Not right now. This just happens all the time, but it's more everywhere. I call it stretch dancing, because when I do it, it looks like I'm dancing, but to me, it's a stretch. Anyway, I do it laying down and standing. I recorded it. One laying down. Standing is a whole different appearance, but same concept. Anyway, we got to the facility, and he was telling me that he was over on the weekend, he was doing some stuff in the warehouse, and somebody pounded on the door, right? Like a damn police. Well, it was the fire department. And they were basically questioning him if he lived there, because they had rumors that somebody was living there, but they didn't specify who. They just said in this general area, was actually his neighbor. And the fire marshal or whoever wanted to go inside to check out to make sure he wasn't living there. And Haley said that's not how it works. You have to get a warrant. You know that you have no right to just do that. Just the same, you don't have a right. So the guy got pissy. Of course he did. And he was white. In a uniform. Never fails. Well, he kept pushing and pushing, and Halo was like, fine. So he opened the door. He's like, okay, that's all I had to do. I just want to make sure you didn't have clothes or whatever laying around. Anyway, so the guy next door apparently has been MIA for a while. He's very mean to everybody. He thinks he has a designated parking spot, even though it's an industrial company facility place. It's not a residential home. And that's what he's trying to make it as. And he gets pissy at everybody, pounding on people's doors, saying, why did you park in my spot, blah, blah, blah. Misery loves company. Yep. Well, it seems like this whole neighborhood is that way. So we got to the warehouse. I finished my stuff because for my medical marijuana card, because it kept not submitting. So good thing I was doing with ChatGPT, and so I copied and pasted what they said I should put in there. So it's not like I had to go off the dome every time. I had it already. I did it like 3-4 times total. Like, anyway, irritated the shit out of me. So I did that, and then I called the people, and then I started sealing. At first, it's really hard. They put weed, 1 pound of weed in it's a turkey bag, and they tie it. Well, they tie it so tight that I can't get them undone. And he was like, this is going to be a problem. He said, I got to leave. I said, I know. I said, I'm sorry, I was trying. They tie it so fucking tight. And my hands, I'm going to OT right now. So my hands are already tender and sore and stiff, and they hurt. So, and I have limited strength. And anyway, so he cut it, and then he put it in the bag, because we were just experimenting, because we've got to figure out an alternative way. And that didn't work very well. The bag got stuck in the bag, and it was difficult to get it out. Anyway, but then I discovered, because I was like, we'll just use the bucket, because we have a bucket that has like a turkey bag top, and so that's easy to dump in a bag. I said, so I'll just do it that way. So I'll just cut it, pour it in there, and then do that. It's just an extra step, but it took a little longer, yes. So I did that the first time. And then the second time, didn't really think about it, but it just kind of came to me. I got my scissors, and I pushed, like when you have a knot and you have that thing that sticks out, right? There's the part that sticks out. Well, if you put your scissors like in the middle of that bunch and push, you have to hold the knot that it's going through, right? You have to hold that. So if you push the scissors, it'll push the fabric or the plastic or whatever back, and then you can take it apart. So I sealed 30 pounds, 2 different types. I have 30 more. I took out, we had already sealed, double sealed bags already that I don't know why he took them. They were in bags, but they were there initially, so it was weird. Because I thought they were gone. I thought he sold them already. So I took them off the inventory. But then I found out that he called and said, somebody wants to know about the products that we have. Look through the bags and sort them out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I did. So I did that. And I counted them. I sorted them. I wrote the names. If you put white tape, like duct tape, white duct tape on wherever you're labeling. My dad actually did that on my dresser one time. I'm surprised because it was wood. I don't think he used that type of tape though. But if you use a permanent marker, sorry, I'm starting to hurt. If you use a permanent marker, you can just spray it with alcohol. Let it sit for just a little bit and you wipe it right off. It's kind of like a whiteboard. FYI, it's pretty cool. Just use alcohol. Anyway, so I sorted them, wrote the name and how much and what it was, like H, I, or S, hybrid, indica, sativa, and sorted them on there. And then I updated the inventory, and I printed out some of the, don't know what he called it, COAs or something. It's just information about the strand that is being sold. I don't forget what it's called. Anyway, so then the printer was messing up. Like all of a sudden it disappeared on my phone. And I was talking to ChatGPT and he said, yeah, computers or printers are sometimes like toddlers. They get lost in grocery stores. So let's catch this thing and bring it back or something. It was funny. That's what it said. So I was able to reconnect it and got there was the two strands that came in are going to be two strands that are not in all my folders. So I had to print some more out. So I got the other one printed out, but I haven't stapled those yet. I was productive the whole time. I didn't really sit down. I did a little bit when then I had to do the stickers, the labels to put on the bags. Then you double seal the bags. Then I started to double seal them, right? So then I put them back where the single sealed was, because there was just a spot. And then I wasn't paying attention because you kind of just get in the flow of things, and I resealed the double sealed bag. So one of them has 3 bags. I just left it. Because I was looking at it one time when I was doing it, I'm like, why is it black? It was because it was already in a bag, and the inside bag was folded, because you have to fold it in order for it to seal. So at least I only did it one time. But anyway, that was funny. I just left it. So in the end, I told him, I think I did a pretty good job. I think today went pretty good. And he said, yeah, you're getting there. And I said, well, being in this body, I think I did a pretty good job. And he kind of acknowledged it, and he offered to carry my stuff to the car. I said, no, I'm good. Thanks, hon. I appreciate it. I already had it, gathered, so. And then on the way home, I just talked. Talked the whole way home. Talked about my neighbors, how they're nosy people, not good people. They just wanted to know what the fuck was going on over here, and now they totally don't talk to me. So Phyllis Brown and her family are just like all the rest. They're just more bold, I guess. That's a whole nother story. So none of my neighbors like me. So then Haley got here, and I was showing him, I showed him the video. I said, do you want to see how I move, like within my body? I do this all the time. I just recorded it. And I think it's pretty fascinating because I just get lost and I get out of my head and into my body. And then when I do that, it seems like the day goes by. Like I lose time when I do that. Which is true because your brain understands logic. Your body understands sensations. So when you're in your body, your brain is kind of subconscious. Time passes. Kind of like when you're asleep. You're kind of just in a zone. You're in your body. Don't really think about the time, and it does pass. So when I do that, I'm like, what did I do today? The day just passed, and da-da-da. But in reality, I did a lot for my body. Because the only way to get out of a heightened nervous system is to communicate with the body. The actual source itself. You cannot fix your body through cognition. Can't. The brain speaks in logic, the body speaks in sensations, and they do not communicate. The only way to really communicate is to write it down, which unfortunately I really can't do right now. My assignment is to write 1 sentence a day or whatever. I haven't started doing that yet. I color. I told you about that. I had to hold it in these 2 fingers. And I would stretch it out. Weave it through my fingers, the pencil, and stretch out. Oh, I probably do it this way. So I stretch this out. Anyway. but I had to take a day off. I kind of just, she said don't do it every day, sometimes even like maybe 2-3 times a day. But I haven't gone on my actual walk yet. But I do walk. So it's not like I don't walk, you know, but I don't go for a walk. I don't know if that's a difference or not. But I am on my feet. When I'm at the office, I will lay my yoga mat down. So I step on my yoga mat the whole time that I'm doing stuff, which makes a world of a difference. And then I eventually progressed to taking my shoes off. These are the only shoes that I really can wear, and they're off-brand. My mom bought them for me. I think it's pretty cool how this base looks so much wider. I like that part. But they don't smash my toes. That's the main thing. And water doesn't go in the bottom like my barefoot shoes. Anyway, so Halo was here. I showed him the videos, and then I told him that my mom I said it probably looks sexual. He said, why do you say that? I said, because it's on a bed. Because in 2021, I started doing videos, and it's still on YouTube, on this channel. And I was doing their ex with Lisa, I think it was called. Well, my mom saw it and realized that it was on a bed, and she said that it was inappropriate, basically very sexual. But I wasn't doing anything sexual. I was stepping you guys through how to do exercises, being very educational. But I don't have a mat table. Like, that's what you would do it on, a mat table. I didn't have a mat table. I was in my house. I came with nothing. What I had was a mattress from the guy upstairs that didn't want it anymore, and it was from a futon. Anyway, so Haley had a question, and he didn't want to ask me, and I said, you know, that's my biggest pet peeve. Biggest pet peeve. When somebody says, oh, I want to tell you something, or I want to ask you something, and then says, oh, never mind. Never mind. Biggest pet peeve in the world. Just say it. Just say it. People can talk to me. People can open up to me so easily sometimes. Because we just talk about anything, really. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, so he eventually asked me if me showing him the videos of me dancing and everything, was it my way of trying to tell him that I wanted to have sex? I said, no, it doesn't. I said, I was just sharing it with you. And I was wondering if it actually looked sexual, if it would be appropriate to show. Otherwise, no, I don't want to be touched. I really don't. My body itself does not want to be touched. It recoils at that idea. My nervous system is not okay with it right now. So he said no, it wasn't sexual, but he did, you can see the thickness of my vagina, basically. You can see my pussy outline and stuff. And I told him that that's just how I'm made. Like, somebody made a comment when I was young. I think it was in middle school. I was at the pool and I was sunbathing, you know, but I had a towel over my face. And one of my classmates, I wasn't attracted to anybody. Everyone was white. Everyone was country. Not my thing. Anyway. So as a guy I was absolutely not attracted to. And he pointed out the fact that my pubic bone has a lot of fatty tissue. It does. It does. My whole life. So I've always been insecure about it. But in the end, it's actually very attractive to men. Very attractive. Men are very attracted to it. So that's another, I don't know. And then I had another guy, he asked me if I once had a penis. Like, what? No. Like, I'm just thick. I don't know. It's just how I was born. I don't know. So it was good to know that, but there's part of it that I was kind of massaging where I hurt, which is my pubic bone. And he said that it looked like I was trying to play with myself. I'm like, no. No. That's where I hurt. I was massaging where I was hurting. I don't really plan on showing anybody that video. It's in there, but it's on private, so you can't see it. Unless I personally let you see it. Just like all these other videos. Anyway. So I was talking about my ADIS. The fact that she's not doing anything to help me regarding the thing that you have to blow in my car. Then I have a court date regarding the fact that I did not abide by my UA rules. I did get a letter from my doctor, which is a huge thing because my doctor does not support the treatment of any illness with marijuana. He does not believe in it. But he realizes that there is something that's going on that is very unique. So for him to actually submit a documentation signed by him saying that I can get a medical marijuana card is a big deal. Very big deal. And I'm very glad I have that piece of paper. So now I just in the process, I have my appointment on Wednesday. Hopefully they get all the information from my medical records by that time, so then we can be on schedule, because I have my court date is March 10th. Today's February 16th, so if we do my appointment on the 18th, they say it takes about a week and a half, so I should get my card. So then if I go to court, I can just show them my card and that letter from my doctor. So that should solve it. And then I have a court date. I assume it's about community service. Back last year, especially in 2024, all this information that I just told you would have put a rock in my chest, my shoulders to my ears, my chest so tight, I'd be in fear. I would. My anxiety would be through the roof. I don't know who's determining my fate, blah, blah, blah. But I have been shown, it has been proven to me that Jesus, the Holy Spirit, God, whoever you want to call it, there is a power above you. That's all I know. And he is in control. He, she, whatever you want to fantasize what it is. But traditional Jesus. He's on my wall a lot. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so if I was that way, if it was 2 years, a year ago or last year, 2 years ago or last year, I'd be terrified about the outcome of what is going to happen. I would have fear, false evidence appearing real. Because that's what it is. Living proof, I know that's what it is. You get this story in your head of what's going to happen. So it's false evidence because it's just concocted in your brain. You just made it up. But you're making it seem real. And then in the end, I know that he has the last word. I have Jesus over there on my wall. He does. So if they end up throwing me in jail or whatever, I don't know. I have somebody I know that can watch Kovu. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent and shit, but like, I guess it would just add to my story. Because I know that God will let me get through it. And each struggle brings wisdom. If you don't struggle, you don't grow. If you don't grow, you don't get any smarter. No clarification comes. You have to struggle. You do. In order to grow. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. Which is very hard to do. Which brings me to the last thing. So, I was talking to Haley about my ADIS and that she's not helping and stuff, and he just jumped directly to fixing the problem. So I discussed it with him, just, I said, when you have a girlfriend or whatever, and you jump directly to fixing the problem, which is a typical male thing. I don't know why, but it is. They want to fix the problem. I'm like, well, sometimes you just need to listen. Sometimes girls just need to get it off their chest. They don't need you to contribute whatsoever. They just need you to be present. That's it. And compassionate and caring and empathetic or whatever, but don't come in trying to control it. Just kind of be there. That's what females need. Probably men too. They just don't know that. So he was talking about. Oh, I told him. So if you're with a female and you want to fix the problem, you come off as dismissive. He said, I don't mean that. I'm trying to teach you that you cannot stay in that whirlpool of emotions that is drowning you. You have to be able to transition to a solution. And that's what his brain has taught him. If he's in a turmoil, he feels it in his chest, very intense. He's it's very uncomfortable. Like he does not like to go there. So he intentionally tries to fix the problem, right? Yes, but every life is different. Like he is a businessman, and he knows how to better himself. Okay, get a home, get a car, move up in life instead of being homeless type thing. Advance instead of settle. But in his world, he can fix the problem. That's the thing. He knows the solution. Like, I don't want to tell his business, but he had residential issues, but he knew that he needed to work and do something to accumulate money in order to progress to an actual home. He knew that, so he was determined to do this in order to get here instead of just settling here in his emotions and drowning in them. And that's what he doesn't want people to do, because he said he did that for a year. Yeah, it takes time. It does. But he eventually slowly moved out of it. But I wanted him to realize that you cannot dismiss what happened. People always want to think about the breakthrough, which is great, because you don't want to dwell. You don't want to dwell on the past, but you need to be able to reflect on the past to realize the mountains that you have already climbed, which gives you motivation to move forward. And in your drowning session, when you feel like you're drowning in your emotions and everything's going wrong, he called it I don't know what he called it. But basically, life doesn't stop. Life does not stop. It's one thing after another. So if you just accumulate one bad thing after another and you hold it within yourself and you're drowning and you're reminiscing about it and you don't know what the fuck to do and blah blah blah, you allow yourself to get consumed in this negative state. It is a lot harder if you're in there for a longer period of time. So he tries to fix it, which is a good thing. You need to transition your thinking into a positive outcome, because you can't change the past. You cannot change the past. You can only take what you learned from it and do better moving forward. That's all you can do. So his situation is different than mine. I have been trying to find a solution. Thing is, there hasn't been one. In his case, he just knows, I can just do this and it'll be gone. This buyer doesn't want this, so I'll just see if these buyers will take it, and then the problem's over. Those types of things. Me, it is my body, which is a mystery to everybody, seems like. My whole life. Start with my stomach, then my hip, then my nervous system, and then all this muscle stuff, and it just, I don't know. I don't have answers. So that's what I was trying to, you can't really, it's hard to relate to people that never experienced it before. You know what I mean? Like, I understood where he was coming from, but to me, that was just generic stuff. To me, I don't have solutions. So I've had to learn how to accept the fact that I have no answers. And believe that is very hard. I have had to learn how to be content on my own. A lot of people cannot do that. They require company. They crave company, somebody else's presence. And it's because they don't feel whole within themselves. So they look to other people to fill that void. But unfortunately, that does not work. You cannot put your happiness in other people. You have to find happiness within yourself. Otherwise, you will never feel whole. You won't. You'll be just chasing something that you've had all along inside of you. You just have to acknowledge it. Which is easier said than done. I know. I know. Oh. I told him that you have, because he acted like he did not want to be in that overwhelmed state, like he could not handle it. Thing is, I've had to live in that dwelling state because I didn't have any answers. Because he said he tries to find the solution in order to get out of that. Well, when you try to find a solution and professionals don't know, what do? Just learn to deal with it. That's the only option. So the fact that I've learned to deal with it my whole life is actually coming back and biting me in the ass, because now I appear fine. But in all reality, I am not fine. So that's why I'm very proud of myself today. I know I didn't get all 60 sealed, but I figured out how to open the bags without having to do multiple steps. My hands, well, it was a good workout for my hands. I'm glad I have this job. I like doing repetitive, what is that called? Factory type thing. You do this and this and this, and you don't really have to think. You just kind of in a pattern. And I actually enjoy that. I don't have to really focus. I can just be lost, and I play my music and I do my thing. So I got 30 of them done. But then I figured out how to open the bag, so I was really grateful for that. And then I was really proud of myself that I organized stuff on the shelves, and I updated the inventory and started printing things out, or tried to, and the print labels. So I was always busy. So it was a good day. By the time 5 o'clock hit, I hadn't ate yet. He needs a microwave in there. I had made a smoothie. That's all I had. Reminds me, I need to bring cereal. Because he buys boxes of cereal, but he doesn't eat the cereal. He just keeps the boxes. So I have cereal in there. So when I get hungry, he only has Frosted Flakes there. I don't know why you'd buy Frosted Flakes. Nasty. But I have to eat something. Like I eat on those maybe 3 or 4 handfuls, then I feel a little bit better. Otherwise, when it hits me, just like when I fall asleep at the wheel. It hits me. And it's like a burning, and it goes up my esophagus, but it's always just on my left side. I don't know why. I don't feel it all over, but it's like I'm going to throw up. But I don't know, it's a weird feeling. So I have to eat something immediately. Well, then he didn't get back till 5. And I had just finished double sealing the second part of the 15. So I did this 30 and 30, but I did 15 and 15 so far. And when I told him, I think I did a good job. And he said, yeah, you're getting there. Because he has a functional body. He has normal hands that function properly. People don't realize how much you use your hands once you can't use them anymore. You don't realize how much you use your feet until you are limited on what you can do. You don't realize how much you use your pelvis and your legs and your shoulders. You know, like, you just don't. People do not value their body. And I really didn't either until now. I always just thought it was a nuisance. Haley has to get his wisdom teeth pulled. And I told him that he's going to be a chipmunk. And he said that, well, if he's a chipmunk, then he's going to have me drive his car and do, instead of him coming here if he don't feel good. I said, imagine living in my body. If you can't stand a little bit of this, because yeah, I don't know, I was an adolescent when I got mine done. But I only had two. I only had 2 wisdom teeth. You're supposed to have 4. But I didn't have 2 other ones. Anyway, but yeah, you swell up. You look like a chipmunk. But I don't really remember it being painful or whatever. But I also have accepted bad things that happen to my body. Because it's usually out of my control. But yeah, for the fact that he was like, I'll probably be out of commission and blah, blah, blah. You couldn't live in this body. So I go to PT, I go OT, I'm going to go to speech. I get, you know, like, I still need to see the neurologist. Never going to go back to the acupuncture. I go to chiropractor, I go to massage therapist. I got to go to the dermatologist now. And my gastroenterologist, I think I say it, is doing another couple more imaging. And then my gynecologist is going to do an imaging. So the Lord has blessed me with insurance that covers all of that. And I get rides to and from my appointments, and I get my medication. And hopefully be able to go to the gym again once I get my license reinstated, which I got to clear all this shit up. And my ATIS, Deanna, is no help. She has not replied. I just simply asked, can you write a statement saying that we had agreed that I don't need to put an ignition lock, whatever, on my car. We already agreed on this because it's irrelevant. But I would like it to not just be from my mouth. I like to know that you had an input on this. But she didn't say anything back. What is wrong with these people? Like, I have no respect for majority of the people in Oregon, especially in the some in the medical field, the neighbors, and law enforcement, and the court system, and all that. I don't trust them. They're not good people. They're not. And God don't like ugly. Yep. So, do what you want. It will catch up with you. It will. But if also you do something good, they say it comes back to you in tenfold. And it feels like my whole life, that's all I've done is good for other people. I've been a nurturer, I've been a caterer, I've been a enabler. I was a natural nurturer, yeah. And yes, I say was. I'm not a people-pleasing person anymore. I don't cater. I'm starting my own online business, Phoenix Sovereignty. But I'm not going to coddle people. People want to be coddled when they're in an emotional state of turmoil. They want to be coddled. They want somebody to come save them. But in all actual reality, you have to save yourself. Nobody is coming to save you. That's another thing that people just don't realize. Haley said that the reason that he was able to get out of his funk was because a good friend helped him out of it. The thing is, this most tragic piece of my life, the friend that got me out of it, was Jesus and my dog, but mostly Jesus. He just kept putting things in my path. I didn't seek him, but he led me from what I was coming across and different things. I really believe that, and what I was listening to. But yeah, I did not have anybody. When people reflect and talk about their story, they always talk about the fact that they had somebody to lean on. I didn't. That's probably why I view humans in a whole different fashion. I do. And that's why I don't feel like I belong here. I don't. I belong with Jesus. He's the one that saved me. He's the one that's only been here. No human was around. Like, presence of another human. Nobody was around. It was just me. Swimming in turmoil. In a way, hoping somebody was going to come save me. Because I didn't have any more strength left. Until it really deeply hit me that that tiny little flame that I kept feeling inside of me will die if I continue down this path. Which means I would no longer exist. Like, I had to fight. I had to fight for myself. I realized that. I read it was a picture, and it said, sometimes the light you crave in the distance is your own flame within. Don't let it go out. Cherish your flame. Something along those lines. That was a major turning point for me. It was. See, just little things in my path. It was a picture that I came across, a saying, like the music that I listened to, I didn't pick out. It just came, and I was like, oh, this is a good song. Oh, this is a good song. And it just became a playlist. Like, things that just come across my path. And that's because I left everything at the foot of the cross. Because I didn't have anything left. My driver's license was gone. My job was gone. Most likely my license was gone. I haven't really established that yet. I was supposed to notify them of my DUI, and I didn't. But I have to get all my courses done by March something. It's already February 16th. But I don't want that license to expire because I worked really hard for it, even though I don't plan on using it anymore. My mom paid a lot for my college because I wasn't able to pay it. Anyway, I'm grateful for that. I plan on paying her back, but she don't know that yet. It's going to be a surprise once I get income rolling in, which is going to happen. It is. I'm putting it out in the universe. I'm going to be a digital creator, multi-millionaire. If you believe it, you can do it, you will achieve it. Just put it out there. Even if it sounds ridiculous, put it out there. It's going to happen. So yeah, I plan on paying her back. But I can't let it expire. So, anyway. And my body was gone. My body was gone. It had ate itself. I couldn't remember anything, so my short-term memory was gone. I couldn't consume the food anymore because I had so much acid built up that I couldn't really eat. I had racing thoughts. I couldn't sleep. And nobody was around. And I didn't talk to anybody. people need to realize that a lot of people's loudest cry is their silence. Sometimes silence is somebody's loudest cry. Yeah. Crazy thing is I wouldn't redo it. For the knowledge that I have acquired, the wisdom, the strength, the awareness, knowledge, that just growth. It allowed me to grow. Because I was stagnant. I was very unhappy. I think he knew that. He dragged me through the mud. He allowed me to be dragged through the mud. He didn't. But it happened. But he had a plan, apparently. Which it didn't make any fucking sense to me. And I was unhappy. And I just didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't see the point. My body was shutting down. What the fuck? That's why I'm telling you, you have to cherish your body. You have to. You can't hate your body. Because that's where you live. You hate your home? Like, yeah. Anyway. I don't know what else to say. I've been talking for an hour and 26 minutes. Anyway, oh, I did tell him that. So when he wants to fix the problem, I said you can't dismiss what they're trying to say. Because when you dismiss it, it makes them feel some type of way. It does. Which it kind of did me too. But I understood why he did it, because most men, that's what they do. They go to fix it. They don't listen. Just be present. It would make a world of a difference. Seriously. Contribute to the conversation a little bit, but pay attention. Just be there. Just listen. And I told him, he said that he finds a solution, to get out of the turmoil. He finds a solution. Or he, like in the case of when he got out of his deep depression area of his life, he had somebody to help him. A human. Somebody else to help him. I didn't. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, my head. I'm tired. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, fuck me. Oh, no, I'm not high. I'm exhausted. Also depleted. Once it was 4:51 when I got done double sealing, and I was like, okay. And then I organized them, and I wrote the thing on the shelf, what it was. It was 4:51. We cut off at 5. So I sat there. I was exhausted. I was like, maybe I'll start, but I couldn't move. My body was shot. So tired. And then he brought food, and they didn't have silverware in there. So then I couldn't eat it. But then it needed to be warmed up anyway. It was rice and some Cajun soup stuff that you put on top of it. It had a lot of onions and peppers and shit in it. But it had some potatoes and chicken. And the juice was pretty good. It smelled spicy. But if you mix the rice and put it on top and blah, 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 it was actually really good. It was. I picked all the veggie stuff out of it. I ate the potatoes and the chicken. And then I threw the veggies away, and then I let Kovu lick the plate. I always let Kovu lick the plate. But Kovu is way too spoiled. He is like in my face knowing that he gets to do that. Well, Haley was here, and I needed to throw that stuff away, and he was telling me a story, so I was really in tune with what he was saying. Well, Kovu was very insistent, right? So eventually I threw the peppers and stuff away, because I read that dogs are not supposed to eat onions. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. So I don't let him eat the onions. Or peppers, I guess. I don't know if that's bad for him. But anyway, I threw them away. And I let him lick the plate. And Haley was like, that's disgusting. Which I'm sure a lot of people think that. But I told him, it's my home. It's my plates. I don't give a shit. My house is a mess. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not one of those people that has to make everything tidy before somebody comes over here. No, this is authentic. This is some real shit. If you can't really use your body, If you can't really use your hands, if you can't really use your feet, you can't, you know, my surroundings reflects how I'm feeling inside. So if you see a messy house, that means I'm not doing very well. If you see a very clean, organized house, that means I'm feeling better. So if you see shit, you know, oh, she should have cleaned that up before she did a video. Fuck that shit. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you think. You are people. And I really don't care to impress people. I don't. Because you weren't there when I was at my lowest. So I really don't see any value in you unless you prove it. Basically. I see more value in dogs and animals than people. About long shot. Anyway, he said, you never see a black person do that. He said, that's just disgusting and blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't give a shit. I really didn't. Just like when Nicholas swept my floor when he was here. And there was a big pile of dirt and whatever. He said, you should be ashamed of yourself. I just looked at it. I said, I wasn't surprised. I didn't give a shit. It was during the time that I didn't want to be here anymore. I couldn't even close my hands. I didn't give a shit what they looked like. You just, anyway. But I should be ashamed. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. This is my house. You don't like it? You don't have to be here. You shouldn't be here because you ain't contributing. Case closed. Anyway. I don't even know what time it is. I can't really wear my watch because it's not really tight, but it confines my wrist so much that it bothers me. I used to always have to have a watch and a necklace. I felt so naked without my necklace. The necklace I got from Marianne was actually $500. That means a lot to me. It was for my last Catholic ceremony. I don't claim a religion. I don't. I'm not Catholic. I'm not Christian. I'm not Buddhist. I'm not Christian. I'm not anything. I'm just spiritual. I just go straight to him. That's it. I don't know if you can hear it, but Kova's snoring. I'm glad that he is content by himself. He's just like his mama. He is like Haley said that he came through the door. Kova doesn't even greet you at the door. He doesn't. He just stay in the bed or stay in his kennel. Like I'm out here and he goes and sleeps in the bed. You know what I mean? Like he's very in tune with himself. He's okay being alone. He's content with himself. And that's what everybody needs to develop. It's very hard. But if you don't, you will continue to feel like you have a hole inside of you that needs to be filled by somebody else. Until you take the time to acknowledge who you are, accept yourself and all your flaws, and love yourself for who you are. You need to show the same courtesy and respect and compassion and empathy toward yourself just like you do other people or animals or whatever. But people don't do that, which is the biggest mistake that the human race does. They don't look within, they look outward. And they try to fix the problem instead of feeling the solution when it's within your body. Because you can't think your way out of it. I promise you, you can't. But you will lose time once you develop a way to get somatic in your life. Just so you know. But you are communicating with your body, which is not a waste of time. It's actually very, very valuable and precious to do because you need to make sure your body feels safe. Your body knows, your central nervous system knows before your brain comprehends if there's something wrong going on. That's what's called intuition. And females seem to have it more than males, apparently. So they say. I don't know why. But anyway. I'm going to go. I told Haley I do videos to be able to get it out of me onto a video, especially because I can't journal anymore. But I will. I'm not putting it out there that I'm never going to be able to. Yes, I will, because journaling is my happy place. But this is how I journal now, too. And I said, I do this. I have to talk about it. Because for him, he just swallows it and just finds a solution. And then that problem's gone and out of his reservoir. And then another one, obviously, life just piles shit on. Life does not stop. And life is not fair. You just have to roll with the punches and bow your head, say a prayer, and weather the storm sometimes. That's all you can do till the sun comes out. And it will, if you're able to embrace and move on, which is something I'm going to try to help people with. And be able to accept when there is not a solution, which has been my life story. Anyway, you did a great job, Lisa. Very proud of you. You did so good. You did so good. You did so good. Oh, and I wore my nipple covers today. I don't even wear a bra. I wear a dark shirt, but yeah, they're kind of, they're not pointy. My nipples are pointy. So the little covers. But I feel a lot better without. God has blessed me with perky boobs. He has. And I appreciate them. I admire them. Not sexually, but just for the fact that they were gone. They were resting on my ribs. All the tissue inside of them were gone. Just like all the tissue in my hips and thighs and were gone. So I praise my body, even though it's getting a little more chubby than I'd like. But I'm not going to criticize my body. No, I'm not. Nobody else should either. And if you don't like something, change it. Because if you're not changing, you're choosing. I'll leave you on that note.